Let's do this problem right here. The question is asking what is the minimum force required to move this object. So first of all, we have to know the friction forces are going to acting on this side. So it's always act against the force intended side. So in this case, force is going to be acting in this side. Therefore, the friction force is going to be acting opposite to this one. So let's say this is F force of friction 1. So FFR1, and this is there's another friction force is going to be acting on this side. This is going to be FFR2. However, in this case, if you imagine that if you pull this object, we have this friction acting on it, this friction acting on it, and since the top object can move, therefore this is going to be moving. This will start to move this side. So when this object start to move this side, the left side, there will be a force right here. So I have to add that one too. So this one is going to be there's another force, friction of force, going to be acting in this side. So let's say this is friction of force of friction 3, and now we have to put the normal forces. So we are going to have a normal force on this one. Let's call this one N2. N2, that's going to be 200 lb. It's just going to be the weight of this object, and here we are going to have a normal force that's going to be 200 plus 300, that's going to be 500, and this is 500 pounds. So first we have to calculate the friction forces. So let's begin with the first one. Force of friction is equal to mu times n, mu s times n. So this is the general definition for the friction force. So we have normal force 500. I'm calculating the force of friction 1. So 1 is 500 time n1, so 500 times 0.4, which will give us 200 pounds. And if I calculate the force of friction 2, which is going to be equal to n2 times n2 times force of friction 2, 0.4, that's going to be 200 times 0.4, which is equal to 80 pounds. And if I calculate force of friction 3, which is equal to which is also equal to n2, because it's same weight, right? Same weight, and it's going to be force of friction n2 times 0.4, so it's also going to be the same value as FFR2, so which is going to be 80 pounds. So the total force of friction is going to be 200 plus 80 plus 80, which comes out to be 360 pounds, 350 pounds. So therefore the minimum force required to move this object is going to be 360 pounds. However, when you apply 360 pounds, this object will be about to move, but by adding little more additional force, a little more small force will make this object to move. So this is the final answer for this question, and that's how it's done. I hope you guys like this video. See you next time.